Hello, amazing people. This is Lisa. I'm one of the hosts, guides, and teachers of the Anam, Cara Art and Soul Retreat, which is taking place in Ireland in October 2020. We invite you to join us. It's just going to be fantastic, enchanting, magical. We're really going to connect with the land, the sacred sites of Ireland, and we're going to connect with ourselves, and we're going to connect with each other. So it's really going to be an amazing retreat. We invite you all to join us. Today, what I really want to talk about is what really makes this unique, this retreat really unique. And it's really what I feel, well, it's the art. And it's also, so it's an art and soul retreat. It's the art, but it's also that we're going to be diving deep into art, sacred sites, but deep into our souls. The name Anam Cara of the retreat actually means soul friend in Gaelic. So that was our inspiration. How do you become your soul's friend? And then how can your soul friend become friends with the other people in the group? And it's going to be a really intimate retreat. There's only going to be 21 people in it. So do register as soon as possible. But today, what I really want to talk about is one of our teachings, and then allude to some other teachings. I'm going to talk about art. We're going to do this practice. It's called art in the symbolic process. And so basically, we're going to use the ancient symbols of the Celts and beyond, because even older, because the triple spiral, which is on the screen right now, is everywhere in Newgrange. And Newgrange is one of the sites we're going to go to. And there are spirals, triple spirals everywhere. So Newgrange was actually built earlier than the pyramids in Giza. So I think it was 3,000 to 5,000 years ago. So we're going to tap into that triple spiral and kind of really tap into the worldview of the ancients and how they were so connected to nature. So what we're going to these are some of the other teachings that I want to allude to, just so you get a taste of what's going to happen. We're going to free your creativity. We're going to let go of fear and we're going to transform it into freedom and really finding your personal truth and your authentic self-actualized self. We're going to create art rituals. We're going to teach you and dive deep into art as a spiritual practice. We're going to create and connect with the earth, the megaliths, and the sacred sites. We're actually it's so amazing. We're going to go into the sacred sites, the ones that we can, and we're going to create in them. And what I'm going to bring to it is Sinead's going to make these awesome watercolor journals for you. And we're going to create in the sacred sites. But what we're going to do is we're going to study the Celtic symbol before we go in. So we're going to meditate on it. We're going to write it. We're going to embody it. And then when you go to the sacred site, you're going to sit in it, and then you're going to create the symbol. And then you're going to just intuitively ask the spirit of the place to tell you what the symbol means to you. We're going to do storytelling and myth making. We're going to do the harmony practice, which is something that I developed, which is a really magical integration of mandala making, yoga, meditation, stream of consciousness writing, letting go of everything, old stories, limiting beliefs. We're going to embody the goddesses and the gods of ancient Ireland. The patron goddess of the retreat is Bowen. She is actually the river in the county of Meath, and she's actually said to reside in the passageway of Newgrange. So we're going to do that. We're also, as I said, we're going to study the Celtic symbols, embodying them through writing, meditation, and really listening to our intuition. We're going to learn through this whole process as we create in these amazing mystical places. We're going to learn the history of ancient Ireland and its myths and magic. We might even see fairy folk and the natures. I'm sure we'll tap into the nature spirits, but it was so interesting. I was at a workshop the other day, and this woman, I told her about the retreat, and she's like, oh my God, when I was in Ireland, I was at the Blarney Stone, and I actually saw fairy folk. So we're going to see fairy folk. All right, we're going to go into the symbolic process that we're going to do. So we're going to study the ancient symbols, and symbols are really powerful. What happens is our soul, our subconscious, really speaks in imagery. So a symbol becomes a portal. It becomes a way of diving deep into the universal. So some of the symbols that we're going to study is the Sheila. She is, if you can see the arrow, she is actually, there's one at the Hill of Tara. she's everywhere. In the megalithic times, in the Neolithic times, she was everywhere, this symbol of this female form. She's at the hill of Cara, so we're going to go there and she's on a gravestone. We're going to charcoal rub her. Cronus is the guy with the antlers. He was like the king or the god of the forest. The green man is amazing. He's the god of vegetation. The tree of life is beyond phenomenal, as above, so below. The Triskel or the triple spiral, we're going to really tap into. And when you look at these symbols, ask your intuition which one really draws to you, because that's really the one that you'll create with as you do that. And what's really fantastic is symbols throughout time, throughout all religions, have been used in meditations, and they really touch you with your divine self or your soul. All right. So through tapping into these symbols, we're going to honor our sacred energy, sacred geometry. As I said, symbols are portals. They're an entryway through. Symbols are thresholds, a passage from profane to sacred truths. So with this retreat, we're going to harness the power of the ancient symbols and archetypes of the Celts. We will, as you know, create with them. And the triple spiral is a powerful symbol. You will dive deep into your subconscious, which is really creativity, intuition, inner knowing, interconnection, spiritual expansion, and enlightenment. At the retreat, we're going to use the Jungian system of symbology, which is really, there's 4 ways. It's number 1 is symbols are tools to dialogue with your subconscious or soul. It's integrated, and then when you create it, it actually integrates into your consciousness. So making art, making symbols, studying symbols actually builds a bridge between your subconscious and consciousness, which is phenomenal, because they say that we're 99% subconscious and 1% consciousness. So if you can tap into the mysteries of yourself, you'll become a more integrated person. The second tool is healing from trauma or loss. Third tool is imbuing your meaning with life, meaning, and magic. It's amazing when you tap into the power of your art and what you created. It is meaningful and magical, and you're the personal who created it, but you tap into the universal, which is the creator of everything, and you become a co-creator with that amazing, powerful, life-giving force. The fourth tool is to resolve conflict and manifest its conscious intent, resolution, and expansion. The symbols are pretty powerful, and together we will create the triple spiral. And I really think that I've studied the triple spiral. I created it about 3 weeks ago, and I really think it's a blueprint for the retreat, the Anam Cara Soul Retreat. It is like, so the way that I understood, this is what came to me, is one of the spirals is your inner golden child or your inner artist. So you're going to be creating and you're going to be activating her or him. The other one is yourself now, what you are bringing to the table. And the other one, the third one, is your self-actualized self. So through the retreat, we will unleash our inner golden child, our inner artist. We will grow and expand in our now self, and we will see our future self as self-actualized. So it really is, the triple spiral is consciousness in motion or flow. The ancients believed it was like movement. If you stare at the spiral enough, it becomes like a moving, organic symbol. The sun, so the triple spiral is the sun. It's giving divine knowledge. Its radiance brings knowledge and clarity. The moon, receiving divine illumination. The moon shines light into the darkness, illuminating the shadows. The earth, it is all. It gives you everything. It gives you life. It gives you shelter. It gives you water and oxygen. The ancient Druids of the Celtic times really believed that the triple symbol was the symbol for the cycle of life, and to live with its full capacity to serve, to heal, to inspire, to create, and to lead. So we will tap into that as we are integrating. Here we are. We're at the frontstone of Newgrange. See the triple spiral. It's pretty magical. You will be able to touch that and really feel that. So the Celts, our ancestors, really had a deep connection with nature, Earth's energy, and the stars. just think about this phenomenal thing. This is pre the pyramids, and somehow the Newgrange is built during the winter solstice. The sunlight will shaft a ray that goes through the passageway and hits the spiral in the back in the dark. So it's pretty amazing that our ancients had this high technology and sophistication to tap into these higher powers. What's phenomenal is now that people can test the ley lines or the energy lines around or underneath these sites. There is actually tons of ley lines on these sacred sites, and the ancients knew somehow. My theory is it's like I think we were more connected with nature and to Gaia, Mother Goddess, that we just like how birds migrate from South America to Canada, and they don't have GPS. They just know to go there every year. I think we as humans really knew we were really connected with nature. So in this retreat, it's a really holistic connection with your mind, body, and spirit, because that was really their worldview. It was also a worldview of altered states of consciousnness, of really going into the threshold, through the threshold, going, they say in Ireland, it's thin places. So when you step out of, this is a triple spiral too, you step out of the mundane, you go into a sacred site, that veil, it actually that you go through is called a thin place, and then you go into this supernatural or the supernal. So it's an amazing process. That's a triple spiral, but it's really about these three realities that exist. And I believe in the supernatural, that's where the different dimensions are. So the triple spiral is an archetype for activating personal growth. That's what we're going to do on the retreat. It's about human development. It's about spiritual expansion. That's what really our intention and our dream of this retreat is. It's a harmonic consciousness that is a balance of your mind, body, and spirit. So as you create on this retreat, you create some amazing art to take home, you will really bring your mind, body, and balance. And thus, again, this is the archetype of the triple spiral. And through the state of being, you'll manifest health, wholeness, and deep meaning. So you'll leave the retreat charged, renewed, and whole. And we want you to embrace through the retreat your unique, beautiful, self-actualized whole self that has unearthed deep wisdoms and deep inner truths. So the triple spiral, again, is really an evolutionary unity. It is evolutionary unity. It's pretty phenomenal. It's like, even like I was talking about, the mundane, and then you go into the thin places, that veil, and then the supernatural. That is unity. I think what we how do you say, we lack in these modern times is unity. So what we're going to really manifest with this triple spiral is our blueprint, our archetype of the retreat. We're going to manifest unity. So the really cool thing is the triple spiral is based on the number 3, and that is evolutionary unity. If you think about the number 2, which is perfect, the number 2 is in perfect balance. And then what happens in that perfect balance, they produce number 3. So the 3 is actually glorious balance and harmony. It could be the mind, the body, and spirit. It could be the mundane, like I said, thin place and supernatural. Power, intellect, and love. The maiden, the mother, and crone, which are archetypes of the goddess. So the triple spiral, these are our takeaways. It's really about spiritual growth, personal growth. It's about really tapping into the power of your intuition. And it's really about the motion, like the motion of action. So it's really about intuition and action. It's really about spirituality and action. And it's about cycles, and it's about progress. And then the 3 is really about the mind, the body, the spirit. It's about life, death, and rebirth. It's really the Holy Trinity. And it's in the Celtic realm, so it's the earth, the sea, and the sky. So if this really speaks to your soul, this short little webinar that I did about what we're going to do, practicing, studying symbols, and then creating art around them, join us in October, and you can go to www.irishartandsoulretreat.com, and I can't wait to meet you. We're going to have so much fun. The most amazing thing on these retreats, I've led them in Greece and in Hawaii, is getting together and creating together and sharing, people just become so bonded, and it's probably an experience of your lifetime. So I can't wait to meet you. Okay.